guys, welcome back to Kuma Reviews. This was one I was looking forward to for quite a bit, just with COVID and delays and stuff like that. This is by Sentinel. This is their Genesic Gaogaigar. So, measurements-wise, it comes to, I'm going to the tip of the crest right here, seeing if I can get near him. He's got so many spiky spoolies coming out. About 8.5 inches tall. So, when you put the wings on and things like that, he's obviously going to be a bit bigger, and we'll take a remeasurement once we do that. But just to give you guys a quick roundabout, and just for the sake of common questions, this is a die-cast piece. Again, about 8.5 inches tall. Pretty cool stuff. Go ahead and dig into this guy. We'll get it size compared and stuff like that to a couple of other Gaogaigars. And yeah, hopefully this review will give you enough information to give it a yay or nay. And afterwards, I'd like you guys to post what you think in the comments. But let's get this going. So since my turnstile is black and the accessories for the most part are black, I'm trying to make this as bright as possible. Sorry in advance because I know sometimes things look a little bit different through my camera than it does on your computer screens when the video's all done in process and stuff like that. But again, trying to work around that. But he has the hairpiece, couple of pieces that go on the stand and the base of the stand, as well as a variety of hands. He's got 2 open hands and then kind of like the heaven and hell grasped hands, that kind of thing. So I'll give you guys a roundabout of that. Okay, and there's that. So it does come with Genesic Gaogaigar as well. This connects and forms the wings. Alright. And there are ball joints in between all the different strands. Pretty standard stuff for Genesic Gaogaigar toys, but it's pretty cool looking. Making sure the mouth doesn't move or anything like that. Really good detail on the head. It's not just an afterthought. And we'll get into the gimmick of the wings and stuff. You know, it's a pretty standard extend kind of deal. But yeah. Now, this is a plastic piece, which is good, doesn't weigh it down or anything like that. The connector point does have die cast in it, as well as a gimmick to where this can actually extend out from his back. So that's pretty cool. Okay, now looking at the figure itself, again, 8.5 inches. This tip, down to toe. Give you guys a roundabout. Lots of nice details throughout and things like that. In fact, I'd argue to say that, at least in terms of articulated action figures versus statues and things, this is the best that this mech has ever looked. Alright. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to raise my camera up some, so you guys can see it, angle it downwards. Alright. And now we'll go ahead and go over the articulation. So, the head is on a ball joint. Some up and down movement. Making sure we can get a full 360 there. 360. Unfortunately, the neck underneath it does not have any articulation to it at all. So what you get out of that ball joint is what you get. Now, I will say, and you'll see it when you see it, I'm not even going to show you guys this thing because I hope you all lose it in the box. It comes with an adapter for the switch on the back. Little black piece. And the switch itself is just fine. Move it back and forth. But what this piece is supposed to do is attach and then help you move it back and forth. Completely unnecessary. And on mine, as soon as I put it on there or whatever, moved it to the left to turn it on, and the switch broke off. So if it's up to me or my advice, don't use it. Not worth it. Not even necessary. Switch sticks out just enough, just fine on its own. I do not know why that was included. But thankfully, the switch is out enough for me to just go ahead and take something and do like that. And then I have the lights in front. So basically, the lights, let me see if they shine through the ball joint at all. They do. Shine through the ball joint, and I'll actually turn these lights off so you can see it a little bit better. In fact, let me see if turning off other lights helps. Alright, so not crazy crazy bright. But when you have it in hand, you do see it pretty well. See how well the camera adjusts. But the light shines through mostly on the front of the lion face on it. And then when it comes to here, you would think like, and there is a little bit of articulation, not much to the front, but it definitely goes up. So that's on me. And there is some sideways movement there too. I guess mine was just seized. So glad to have corrected that. All right. There we go. But putting it on here, it advertises it as really shining through like his eyes and things like that. But part of the problem, I think, is that his eyes are so small that you really don't see it even in hand. Bring it up so you guys can see it a bit better. Yeah, so it does have a light gimmick, but it's not all that. Honestly, I feel like it's something that maybe should have been foregone. Especially if it maybe takes away from some of the articulation of the head, maybe the body and things like that. This is a pretty articulated figure. I'm not saying yay or nay. I'm just saying in general, it's something that it could have done without, for sure. So moving on to the arms. Give you guys the whole roundabout deal there. And as you can see, things get in the way. Okay. Now the nice part about the crest is that it should just pop right back on. And boom. So no harm, no foul there. Nothing actually broken or anything like that. But you can see I had to move it back. It butterflies back and forth really well. And the shoulders actually, it's hard to see, but they extend out. All right, so let me see if I can zoom in there. Because the engineering on this piece, it's nice. So again, extend it out and then pushing it back in. All right, so, and then bringing it out. Not a lot, but enough to get around like the lion mane and whatnot here. So that's pretty cool. All right, now back to the articulation portion of this figure. All right, you just saw the double jointed elbow, but we'll go over that again. 360 at the bicep. Elbow is double jointed. And it's nice. And you really got to watch that lion mane, man. Dang. Because there is a moving piece in here to help with that. All right. Put the arm straight so you guys can see. And we'll also go over this piece. There is, and the arms do detach, but I was going to go over that a little bit later. This part comes forward to not get in the way of the arm or anything like that, because you can get some movement underneath it too. Not really much more than that. There's some rock there, but on each side, these open as well. Now there's an add-on kit coming. We'll get his fit on there. I noticed that there were really light glue residue spots, but I'm not going to re-glue it because I don't know if I'll do it as clean. But on both sides, those open. And I was saying there's a add-on kit that'll have like effect pieces and stuff like that and missiles and the like, as well as like light up closed fist hands for like the heaven and hell full effect. So that'll be cool. But all right. Now with the forearm itself, no articulation, no spin in there. But what's really neat is that you can pull this part out for actual protect shade. So to me, that's pretty neat. There is upward articulation on the hand. All of these fingers are articulated. As well, as you can see. Bring that out again. You just take a single piece of it and they all pop out. So to me, that's really cool. There's that. And maybe I will end up putting a dab of glue on there because that's going to get kind of annoying if it's every time that I move it, popping it out. Now, mouth open and closes there. Looking at the abdominal section, side to side, it's 2 portions, so pretty modern stuff. upper and lower articulation. Now, since the hand's already out, and that's why I kept it there, we can look at the back bend, which is nice. All right, you guys see that? Back bend. As well as the actual crunch. So pretty good on both ends. And then when it comes to about more than 45 degrees, damn near 90, I'd say probably not quite 90, but pretty darn good. I would say between 60 and 70 degrees right there for each side. Now, looking at the skirts, boom, boom. These kind of move out. Not really, because they hit the waist. Nothing in the back to really worry about, but when it comes to the outward kick, what's that? That's about the extent of it. And nice die-cast joints here too. Like, it's just, this is pretty. Now, I do wish, because it's all one big swing joint, I do wish that they had like drop hips to kind of swing in front of this piece or around. I'm not able to get around it from what I can see. There we go. All right, it does work. It was just seized. There we go. Cool. So there's your frontward. And even there, it hit a tight spot. But there's your backwards. So really cool stuff. All right. All right. Best double jointed knees on this side of the block. That's really cool. All right. So it does have some twist at the thigh too. Now, when it comes to like the feet, right? So instead of ankle tilt, because it doesn't really have traditional feet, what it does is each of these extends. Well, the outsides do. The outsides extend to give them more stability. So like if you got a split-legged pose, instead of when it's up, see how the foot doesn't touch? Bring it right down. Bam. And with the feet, when it comes to the front and back, everything kind of moves separately. And then these twist as well. Back doesn't. But articulation in toes. Yeah, quite a bit of movement in the feet area too. He's just, when it comes to the way his feet are laid out, he's a very awkwardly designed mecha in the first place, and I think they do really well with the way that they've handled the balancing portion of them, because there's only so much you can do. Just for the sake of getting them into something. Really, really, really freaking dynamic, and I love it. In fact, let's... There we go. Darken that up a little bit. Nah, keep it light. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Alright, now looking at Genesic Gaogaigar. There are two areas on here that it clips into. And there's a male peg there that's just friction. We're going on ahead and making sure that that clips nice and tight. Boom. Now there's not a big loud snap or anything like that, but it stays in plenty firm. Alright, zoom out a little bit more. Just making sure everything's adjusted on the back end. Yeah, pretty cool stuff in my opinion. Alright. I'm just making sure we're all focused and stuff. And I'll see if I can't get that to hold up. Now it's a little bit heavy for that, unfortunately, but yeah. Big long tail. And I know it's a neck, but it works as a tail here, right? Okay, so cool. Now, the big thing, and we went over this earlier, is the wing expansion gimmick. See all those moving parts and stuff like that? Really neat, right? So unfortunately, like, it doesn't really have... It does have outward movement. Has inward movement too. Well, I'll be darned. And I don't know if it's just because it's taking a little while to warm up after being cold and things like that and being in the house for a bit, but now it's moving a lot more freely than it has when I first got it out of the box. So I'm glad I waited a little while because this wouldn't have been able to do this previously. So, to give you guys an idea on the expansion of the wing, because we all worried about that DTOF display and stuff like this, and this ain't gonna do it because DTOFs are about 16 inches on the penny, and or to the penny. That is 17.5 inches wide. So yeah, there might be some things you could do, like when you put it back more, this and that, but then you got to worry about it getting caught on stuff. But there it is. I mean, pretty straightforward. And again, the back pack Gaogaigar can actually detach a bit. And sorry, I do have to kind of cover this up with my hands. But if you can see there, it can extend a bit from the back there to give more movement for like the arm movement and things like that. So if you want to have him pose forward. Oh, and this is a good opportunity to talk about the line mains. So the line mains move, you see, up, and you push this in, the side, and down. We'll make sure to push this up, because what we're going to do is hit him with that heaven and hell. And pop in the hands. Not too easy, or not too hard. Just ball joints. Show that. Pop one side on. Pop the other side on. And boom. Okay? So we got that. And what we're going to do is get this out of the way for a second. Get not only the stand up, but the adapter piece as well. And the stand, as you can see, has 3 levels. So we're going to move this back, because what I want to do is move this forward, move this here. And I have to be able to get, there's a piece in the back that comes off. And then from there, it just pegs in. Pegs in pretty decently. I wouldn't exactly trust this too crazy heavy unless you've got these screws really tightened up. But I mean, there maybe, there. I'm just experimenting with some different stuff myself here. Just playing a little bit. I do like that it can rotate. Now this pose doesn't exactly need the stand, but fuck it, why not? Let's raise the camera up. I know it's a bit wobbly. Zoom out a bit. Make sure that he's looking as far down as possible. Get those arms up. And there we go. Nice heaven and hell there. Alright, and before wrapping this up, just a couple of things about Gaogaigar. He has a little bit more movement in the tail, like the whole thing, the whole neck area can go up and down on that hinge. And also, I didn't show off. People who've watched the anime know, but just showing that they include the detail of the eyes when the wings are extended. Also, totally forgot about the hair, or they're like battery cables for his hyper mode gimmick. And you can see they're all on ball joints, not the most articulated, but they have them. There's that. Okay, and closing this guy out, I've got him, the Sentinel, in the middle of the mechs Goken, Genesic Gaogaigar, which is the same mecha, as well as the Sentinel Gaogaigar, which is different, but same series and the like. Yeah, size-wise, you can see that the Sentinel fits right in the middle of these two in terms of diecast and like heft and things like that. Just off top, the Max Goken actually may be the heaviest out of all of them. This is a big... If I were just to spitball diecast percentages or whatever, I would say just because of the size of this one, it's gonna be heavier. But diecast percentage, it's not crazy much. It's mostly in they're not. Are they tank Gao or whatever drill Gao? I believe it is. But it's mostly in the legs here. I would say maybe like 30%, 45%, and then on this one like 70%. If I were just spitballing numbers, not knowing anything about how diecast works. Just like the others, the drills on this guy do spin. And actually, when it comes to like the articulation and things like that, versus just like overall design, the Max Goken is actually my personal favorite. It's just a great figure that was made well ahead of its time. This is version 2, so if you buy one, go for that one. There were some QC issues with the first, but make sure you're buying the second edition and you'll be fine. I've had this since like 2013, and it's still just as beautiful as the day that I bought it. But the Sentinel is nice, got a lot of gimmicks to it and stuff like that. The articulation is awesome. Outside of that problem with their prescribed piece for the light gimmick or whatever, the switch, I really have no problems with this at all. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice looking piece. It's pretty. The SOC, the Bandai Soul Chigoken, this is a dated piece. It's kind of run its course for my collection. As soon as the Post Plus gets here, it's going to go to the wayside, whether it's in storage or in somebody else's house. It's got to go. But anyway, again, this has been the Sentinel X. I believe the company that they worked with for the design of this is Amakuni, but just amazingly designed piece. I think it's a great mixture of size, diecast content, gimmicks, articulation. It's nice to see Sentinel have a plain win. I have contacted the retailer that I bought this from, Ami, about the light switch, seeing if I can get that replaced because this just came in not too long ago. But even if it doesn't, you know what? I'll survive because at least it's still accessible. But anyway, this has been another Kuma style review. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Hopefully we can get a full gallery of this guy up soon. I've been slacking on the photography. Not as much slacking as I've been squirreling because I take more pictures than ever, but it's of a different thing every 5 minutes, I feel like. So I'm all over the place, but I will get my site up and going again, get you guys some new content on there too. But again, thank you guys for all the support. Hopefully this end of the first fiscal quarter of the year has been going well for you guys, and I will see you soon.